Matter of fact, I don't understand it because I was never washed up. But capitalizing off of domestic violence, that shit is fucking trash.
In the rap world, there are many artists who deserve your attention. Whether they be some of the best singers around, talented performers that always catch your eye, or just personalities that you can't help but follow, the genre has a lot to offer. But more than any other genre out there are also wannabes who feel that they're the best around and yet aren't even close. For the rap world, the biggest example of this is 6ix9ine, who has gone above and beyond in the worst way possible to try and make people think he's the best, when everyone knows he's not. So allow us to show you why 6ix9ine is now washed up. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 6. The origins of 6ix9ine. Not unlike many rappers before and since, 6ix9ine did not have the easiest of childhoods. He was someone who had a hard-working mom, but an absent father, and then his stepfather was gunned down right in front of their home. It was a suggestion from another rapper that 6ix9ine should do rap. He had done singing in the past via his time in church, believe it or not. And when 6ix9ine started to do it, he had a taste for it, and by that we mean he felt he could turn himself into something big and get out of the situation he found himself in with his family life. So he started to go and rap, and because of his rainbow hair and other elements of his visage, he became an internet meme. And believe it or not, that honestly helped him go and be a little famous. Even signing with a record label from Slovakia, no joke, to go and distribute his music. But the need to go and be famous drove him to do even darker and dumber things. Not the least of which was number 5, joining a gang. Eventually, to help boost his street cred and get more attention, 6ix9ine joined a New York street gang called the 9 Trey Bloods. The two sides went on to have an agreement that 6ix9ine would admit to at a later time. Anyway, the deal was that 6ix9ine would get their help in boosting up the visibility of his music via their own connections and even giving him a manager via one of their members in Shoddy Jordan. And in return, he would pay them a piece of his profits and let them be his entourage so that they could go places they wouldn't have been able to go without him. The deal was made and things did indeed start to turn in 6ix9ine's favor, including getting more attention for his music, more back and forth with other rappers, and so on. To further cement his relationship with the group, he even went and put some of the 9 Trey Bloods in his music videos so that they could be shown, and others would see that he was hardcore. And that right there is where the dumb and sad side of 6ix9ine showed, which is why you could argue that he was washed up from the word go. Number 4. The desperation of image. You see, in the rap world, it's a very constant state of affairs in regards to not just getting to the top, but keeping your spot. Rappers have to go and assert themselves by making big music, doing big concerts, and keeping their name out there because there are tons of new people trying to take your spot. It's very cutthroat, and you have to be at the top of your game to get it done. And yet, for 6ix9ine, that doesn't matter to him at all. He doesn't care about the music per se, he cares about his image. In this case, the image of a rapper that someone early on told him he had. He is more focused about appearing hardcore than actually being hardcore. He was willing to change his looks, his personality, and more just to try and appear like he was a true rapper rather than going and making music that defined the genre as a whole. And if you ask his former girlfriend Sarah Molina, that's where everything went wrong for their relationship that ended rather terribly. But the way that he was going about it was, I'm gonna be completely honest, it wasn't the music. It was just the image, and it completely turned me off. I'm not one of these girls that you rap about. And you know, I'm here with you, and I'm in this relationship. And now I gotta worry about you living the lifestyle that you're rapping about? I gotta worry about these girls, I gotta worry about you being disrespectful, I gotta worry about all this other stuff. 6ix9ine no doubt didn't care about what she said, and if you look at what he's done throughout his career, he's been making more controversial statements, music, and music videos more than actually making music that's worthy of being on the Billboard charts. True rappers like Drake, Eminem, Meek Mill, 21 Savage, and more dedicate themselves to their music and try to do their best with each track so that it can be special. But 6ix9ine just wants to crank out music and maintain his image, which says a lot about him, mainly in that he's delusional. Number 3. The King of New York and the Supervillain. There's a lot of reasons that people hate 6ix9ine with a passion, and we do mean a deep, deep passion. But one of the biggest ones is that this guy thinks that he's the greatest rapper in the world, if not the greatest singer in the world. And yet, he's not even close. If there was a chart for great rappers and singers, he wouldn't rank in it, ever. But 6ix9ine won't listen to that kind of talk. He hypes himself up to oblivion and makes it clear that only his opinion matters. So much so that in his early days of rap, he would call himself the King of New York. which is an insult to other rappers who come from New York like Jay-Z, who is worth over $1 billion and 6ix9ine most certainly isn't. But just as bad, he thinks that everything he does is making people like him because he's a villain at heart. "I feel my step-pops was a superhero," 6ix9ine said in an unreleased interview used in the documentary about 6ix9ine. "He was always helping people without thinking about himself. And that's what a superhero did, and that's what my step-pop did. Superheroes always die. F being a superhero, I want to be a villain. Villains never die. It's the Joker. You want to hate him, but you love him," he continued. "He's the bad guy, but you end up falling in love with him. You consistently say, 'I hate this guy,' but you can't stop watching. There's somewhere deep down where you fall in love with that guy." That right there proves his delusion. Because he thinks that everything he does is bringing people to him, and yet he's just making them hate him more. And yeah, he does get viewers and followers, but not anywhere near the levels he thinks he does. Plus, many people don't love him deep down at all. They want him gone, especially after all he's done. Number 2, the liar. As noted before, there are certain things in the mind of 6ix9ine that he was trying to achieve in the rap world. One of the biggest ones was being perceived as hardcore. But in the rap world, there's one rule you cannot break, or else you'll be an outcast. You don't snitch on your crew. But when 6ix9ine was arrested by the FBI in 2018, alongside the members of 9 Trey Bloods, 6ix9ine literally wasted no time in going and snitching on his crew in order to get himself a lesser sentence. Then, after he did the plea deal and other rappers, including actual rap legends, called him out on it, he said they were jealous of the fame he was getting. Not only did he lie about being hardcore, he tried to turn his snitching around on others and even later said, "I did nothing wrong," and even went further with, "I did nothing illegal in the eyes of the law." So yeah, delusional. Number 1, he continues to fall. But if you want the biggest reason why 6ix9ine is washed up, it's because despite all his efforts, any victory he gets is short-lived and then he crashes right after. He joined a gang and then burned them and is now wanted by many of them and many others in the rap community. He had a number 1 song with Nicki Minaj, and it had the biggest freefall in the history of the Billboard charts. And he dissed Minaj by saying that it was his song and not hers, and that it was he who made it a number 1 track. He was on a high after prison and made an album, and it flopped. And even recently, he went and tried to stir up controversy with Meek Mill via a fight to get attention for his new song, and it only reached number 90 on the Billboard charts. 6ix9ine keeps trying to make himself relevant, and yet he's not. He's a fool and a troll, and someone who just needs to admit he's washed up and go away. But he won't, so we have to endure him. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at 6ix9ine and how he is so lame and pathetic that he might as well just be a washed up fool? Do you agree with everything that's been said about 6ix9ine? Should he just wise up and leave the rap genre? Or is he too stubborn and arrogant to even conceive of such an action? Let us know in the comments below, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.